my show. You stay in line over there with your hot tea and your flip phone. How do you live with that?
In my hairs.
In your hairs?
In my hairs.
What are you saying? Hey-yas? Like Outcast? Like hey yeah?
Been listening to a lot of hip hop music lately.
Okay, so explain to me what a hey yeah is.
Hey.
So Outcast.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. Good start. Hello and welcome to We're Doomed podcast. My name is Brandon McIntosh, and across from me with his dreamy eyes is Tyler Shaftsma.
Thank you
Thank you. I know. So
for having me again. I'm the co-host.
Yeah, I have you every week. You're the co-host. If you're not here, you should be.
Now, I have a question that we should determine right now because it's episode 4, right?
Could be.
Could be. Is it We're Doomed podcast or We're Doomed the podcast?
We're Doomed podcast or the podcast?
Yeah.
Is this for like social media purpose? Is this for like a Twitter?
I'm just wondering what sounds better.
I don't know. I kind of went with just off the top, and that's what came out of my mouth.
Okay.
Does it sound good?
Yeah, We're Doomed podcast.
We're Doomed podcast or We're Doomed the podcast. Let's put a vote out there.
Yeah.
What do you think? Does it matter?
I don't know.
That's okay. Anyways, I was thinking today, we're recording out of Spiky Ball Studios in Delhi, Ontario, and we're in an old church, an old Hungarian church. And I think our topics about the end of the world and such, is this a good place for the end of the world to happen? Like, if we survive, like, whenever you see in movies, churches, the end of the world, there's always people coming to refuge. Like, are we going to be ready for that? Like, people coming to our door thinking God's going to save them. And
People already come to the door and ask me if I bury bodies.
yeah, that's right. That's amazing. This actually happened. This is like when I first came back from Australia, and I came to the church one of the first times.
Yeah, I was showing you around, and you had 2 marijuana plants under your arms, and we were walking out to your car.
Yeah.
And then in pulls this lady, and she's like, "Hey, are you the guy I pay to bury my sister?"
Wow, what a...
I was like, that's the first time anyone's ever asked me that question.
Yeah, even if you were the guy, is that how... You don't just come up just so, like...
It's like, how much?
Wow.
And where do you want me to bury your sister?
Yeah.
And do you have her in the back of your minivan?
Yeah, there's some room behind the church there.
But I pointed her in the direction of the cemetery. There's not even a cemetery on the grounds here.
No, absolutely not. Like, how does this work? Is this what happens when someone dies? You have to just find someone at a church and ask them to bury him?
Do I look like a gravekeeper?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about the digging part, but you'll definitely keep up the flowers and stuff.
I got those crypt keeper eyes.
Yeah.
Little sunken eyes.
Yeah, you'll go over to people and console them and just give them wisdom and stuff. I could see you doing that.
No, I'm terrified of cemeteries.
Why? It's just full of dead people and stones.
Do you know what I found out recently? People like buy up cemetery land,
Yeah.
and then they have to like either move all the caskets and tombstones, or sometimes they just fucking pave over it.
Yeah, that's the basis of the movie Poltergeist. They just built this whole subdivision over like an old Indian burial site. They're just like, fuck them. We don't have any rights here. And they just like built houses. And then ghosts started appearing.
See, I always thought that's why there were cemeteries like in the middle of towns and stuff, just because there used to be a cemetery there. And once a land is a cemetery, I just thought it was always a cemetery, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Where do you want to be buried, Tyler? You want to be buried in a cemetery?
No, I want to be shot into space.
Shot into space? That'll be an option, I think, if we live to our old ripe age. Elon Musk will probably have it for pretty cheap. Yeah, your body. You want your body shipped or like ashes, or how do you want to do it?
Just as is.
As is? Just as you. Right in
me
your
in.
funeral suit, just shipped right off.
Yeah, just throw me in the fucking catapult.
You at least want a spacesuit, right? If you're getting shipped off.
Do I need it? I'm dead.
It's, whoever finds you out there. But that's
No
what
one's
do you
gonna
want?
find me. I just want to float through space until all my particles leave my body into dust and then just become atmosphere.
That's beautiful. But you don't know if an alien will come by and just like, what is this? They're just zipping around. They just lock on with their radar. They
I don't know. Bodies deteriorate pretty fast in like mud and water.
yeah.
I imagine in the cosmic air, they're going to deteriorate pretty fast. And you get struck by.
I feel like it might be the opposite. Like you don't deteriorate. You're just like one solid thing.
I don't know. Again, the premise of this podcast.
We don't know anything.
Yeah.
We're just like, we're fascinated. Help us learn things.
We are not educated. We're just paranoid.
Yeah, that's a good motto to go by.
I think that has to be the tagline.
That's us.
Being in a church, it's what the building used to be.
Yeah.
To me, it's just a building.
Yeah.
I don't see it as anything else.
When you're inside of it, but when you roll up every day in the car and you just
I
look
don't-
up at the big
I don't look
steeple.
up.
You don't look up? No. Yeah, I like it. It's
Churches scare me. Like, I've never been a church goer.
No, neither have I.
And
This is the most time I've ever spent in a church.
yeah, anytime I've been like forced to go to a church for like a funeral or something like that, I've always been very weird about it. But I've been here all hours of the night. I don't care.
Have you ever gone to like a mass or what do you call it? Like just like go there on a Sunday gathering?
Yeah, like when I was little, maybe a few times.
Yeah. See, yeah, my family was never religious, but we had
No.
people in our family that were. So I think we went to my cousin's. What do you call it? They eat the cracker and they
Yeah,
drink the
you
wine
go
in the back.
to you go to the odd thing once in a while when you're a kid, but it was always like my dad's always like this full shit. We don't have to go.
Yeah, I was a little kid. I just couldn't believe all the standing and sitting and just random singing songs I couldn't even understand. And yeah, I did not enjoy church. I never went back after that.
But do I think if there was an end of the world scenario, do I think people might start flocking here and knocking on the door and seeing if we could help them? Maybe. People do that already.
Yeah,
There are like homeless people in town that knock on the door and wonder if we can still help them because
yeah.
the
There's
people that
still
used to.
yeah. I mean, like religious people that just think this is the end of times and like we must find salvation in the house of God. It's
Well,
like, we must find the local priest, and then Pete'll probably be there to greet him. He'll be happy to be their priest.
Well, in all of these end of the world scenarios, it's the religious people that are always doomed first because they're just like, oh, it's just the apocalypse. If we stand on this hill, he'll save us.
Yeah, it'll be fine. We'll be okay.
It's like, no, that's just a meteor shower, Terry.
Yeah, it's like, you know what, you do that. All right, we'll just stand back. If it works, it works. If not, then it's one less person we need. Okay, just getting in the way. It's the end of the world.
Just getting in the way.
It's getting into the world. As if you got to fight 1-on-1, right?
Right.
Or we got to stick together. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get into what do you got here?
Okay,
We have things.
That's our banter. We don't have to get through all the banter. We did enough with the cemetery stuff.
Oh, we got banter.
I want to hear about. You said that your girlfriend saw a UFO,
She did. It's amazing. She told me this.
like recently.
Recently, she was going to vote with her parents. Her parents saw it too. And I think it's funny because I'm always annoying the shit out of her with my UFO facts.
On election day.
Yeah, and she's very skeptical. And yeah, it wasn't on election day. She went early voting.
So is she like a full-on believer now? Like she came home, Brandon, I believe in UFOs. Now you were right
No.
all along.
No,
I'm
no.
sorry for doubting you.
No, none of that came out. She admitted that she saw something she couldn't explain, and it could have been a drone, but like she said, they were out there in the parking lot of some building they're going to vote in, and it was just a red light, and it kind of looked like a helicopter, but it was low enough and close enough, but they couldn't hear anything, and it was just making all these weird moves. It would move one way and stop, and then move another way, and like it could be a drone, but she said it was really bright red.
How
And-
big?
They couldn't tell how close it really was because it was bright and it was making fairly fast movements. She said, and her dad, like he's an engineer and he's really into aviation, and like every day I catch him on the computer. That's all he's doing on YouTube is watching things about planes and aviation, and he was kind of thrown by it. He couldn't believe it. So that's exciting. Girlfriend seeing a UFO.
So could she identify what it was?
Not quite.
So
No.
it was unidentified.
It was unidentified.
And it was flying in the sky.
It was definitely flying. The closest thing, yeah, I guess would be a drone. It could have been, but she said it seemed too big.
And it was clearly an object.
Yeah,
So she saw a UFO.
she saw a UFO. Congratulations, Dorothy. We have something in common.
But she didn't come home and tell you that she's a believer now.
No, it's like I wanted to like sit her parents down to like a full investigation.
But you got
Like,
excited.
take me to the location.
How excited did you get?
I was pretty stoked. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't go on I was held back going on a rant in front of her parents about UFOs. It was just
Draw
like,
me a picture of it.
Draw me a picture. Take me to the location.
Where was it? Latitude and longitude.
you have-
Latitude and longitude.
Do you have any missing time experiences? It was weird, though. It was a red light, so maybe it had something to do with the Liberal Party. Maybe a big liberal drone up there.
Maybe it was Santa's sleigh.
Maybe. Ho, ho, ho. Cast your votes. That's what he says, right? Santa?
Yeah.
He's a Santa politician Santa.
Can you go more than 14 hours without talking about UFOs, Brand?
No, you gotta squeeze those numbers down a little bit. Yeah, it's bad. Anything will just spring it up. Like it every day. I definitely think about it every day. It is a problem. And we will do a podcast where I won't bring it up once, I promise. You brought it up this time. But I mentioned it to you, so you could bring it up.
You mentioned it to me before the show.
But none of our news segments have anything to do with UFOs. I know the last bunch of episodes are just UFO heavy. You know, we'll back up a bit, all right? They're out there. They're watching. You know, they might make an appearance.
Well, you can throw UFOs or aliens into pretty much any end of the world situation.
And we will, and I will.
And you will.
I will find a way. But I'll just, I'll make it short.
Yeah. So
We'll make it a segment. Just like, here we go again with Brandon McIntosh.
he said it again.
He said it again.
That's cool. This is our 4th episode, right?
You asked that already, and I already said I don't know.
I don't know, because the next note says review first 4 episodes. But I think that was just kind of a way to say that we're doing the same topic as the first episode.
I guess.
We recorded one, then it failed.
It did. The audio was terrible. It was our first episode, so maybe it was better to just delete it and do it again later.
Yeah. And we've been alien heavy so far, but we'll try to back off. And, yeah.
All right. So we're going to get into We're Doomed news, and we got some fun stories that don't involve UFOs. I think you're going to like these. These aren't exactly end-of-the-world stories. We've gone heavy on earthquakes and, asteroids and stuff. But, we're doomed in other reasons, too, because people are ridiculous on this earth.
If you hear the faint sounds of music in the background, we are in a musical recording studio.
That's right. That could be, someone playing music and dancing, like in their underwear. Or it could be a band rehearsing. Who knows? Who knows what goes on here in Spiky Ball Studios?
It could just be someone playing a stereo. There, it stopped. We're Doomed News.
We're Doomed News. We're going to get right into the news. We have fun news segments this week. Talking about crazy people. This is another reason we're doomed, not just because of asteroids and supervolcanoes and solar flares. There's just ridiculous people in this world. This one comes right out of Jackson, Florida, of course. Got to start off the news with a good Florida man story. Florida community disturbed by emotional support rooster. So the small town outside of Jacksonville,
Excuse me, what?
an emotional support rooster. What are you laughing at? Rooster? What am I saying?
Just all of those words together are funny.
Emotional support rooster. I don't know
who
who they
needs a
support.
fucking rooster to coddle them.
Okay, but anyways, these people are getting waken up in the middle of the night. They live in a residential area, and they're not expecting chickens. And they said it goes on for 20 or 30 seconds, and then it'll stop, and then they'll go right back at it. And what's strange is the rooster's in the backyard, and it's his emotional support animal. Why isn't it indoors providing emotional support? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's my first question.
Yeah, it's
That
amazing.
rooster isn't doing its fucking job.
I know. Unless that is his job, to be outside just waking him up early in the morning.
That's what calms this guy down, is his rooster fucking cockadoodle doing outside.
It could be. Or maybe he has trouble waking up in the morning. It's more of a motivational
Get a
support.
fucking alarm clock.
Well, maybe it wasn't working. So now he has to have something that's alive to just wake him up. And anyways, they approached him about it. After mounting pressure, the owner of the rooster has agreed to release it. He said, "I love animals."
Oh, that'll fix things. Release the rooster into the neighborhood where it can just cock-a-doodle-doo on everyone's front porch.
Yeah. Tyler, we had a similar situation in Toronto.
We kind of did.
Toronto, the first place we ever moved in Toronto was North Toronto. It was Little Jamaica mixed with Old Italy. It was a weird little place. We'd hear a lot of weird sound. We'd hear like drum circles at night and like all kinds of crazy stuff. But every morning, I swear to God, I would hear a rooster. And you guys would never believe me. It would wake me up every morning at like 5 a.m. It took a long time to convince you guys until you finally heard it.
Yeah, I heard it once, a few times.
And
It started to get bad. It was waking me up in the morning.
Yeah,
too.
once you hear it, you can't not hear it. And we're just thinking of schemes.
But I'm kind of used to that. I grew up in a small town, and you'd hear the same thing.
Yeah, but it's just like 3 doors down, like really tight
But
houses.
right in the middle of the city. Yeah,
Yeah.
tight houses.
Like that's cool. You have a rooster, but goddamn, waking up the whole neighborhood.
Well, a lot of people have their own poultry now for eggs.
Yeah, I like my own poultry.
Your own
I guess
chickens for eggs.
you can get quiet chickens. I guess chickens aren't the problem. It's roosters, right?
Yeah, the roosters get all horny.
But emotional support animals. What's your take on that? You know, do you see a lot of people with dogs? That's common. Like, would you call your dog emotional support animal? Like, he's pretty emotional himself.
Yeah, my dog's got its own emotional problems, but
Yeah, you're his emotional human
I'm his-
support. Yeah.
more so. I do get it with the dog thing though, because I can feel like my dog knows when I'm panicking, and he knows I'm being anxious before I'm being anxious, and he'll come, sit on my lap
Yeah.
and try to calm me down. Dogs do try to calm me down, so I get it. You can train a dog probably.
Perfect. But
do it.
but a rooster.
But what the fuck is a rooster doing for you? I don't
know.
understand that.
There's a story I heard too of a woman who brought a
I understand the dog 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I understand the dog. I would
maybe a
fucking-
cat. Maybe a cat.
Maybe a cat. Cats don't give a fuck about you. Dogs actually care about you. Like my dog's my best friend.
Yeah, there's bunnies. A woman, similar situation. She had a chicken. She brought on a plane, and everyone was upset. And then she was all mad. She's like, "This is my support chicken." We're like, "Fuck off, lady.
Yeah,
This is not a supporting animal." Okay.
There's been people with peacocks and people with fish, and I get it.
Yeah.
And it is something that's helping people that obviously have mental problems
Yeah.
and mental health issues. So I get it. But if your mental health issue is you need a peacock,
Oh yeah, you need the.
I guess so.
Maybe you shouldn't fly.
Well, it's 2019. We're just letting everything happen. So just let it happen. I get it. But people are going to be upset when your chicken's waking them up.
How many seats would a peacock take up?
A couple.
Yeah, just with its big feathers.
But I get the dog thing. I think of course, a lot of people are like, I just want to bring my dog everywhere. Man, of course, your dog makes you feel better everywhere you go.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But like, don't bring it to restaurants and like the mall. It's weird.
Eh.
I like dogs, but not everywhere. Some places dogs shouldn't be, and they just show up.
That's true. And like your dog should be okay with being left alone. Like my dog hates being left alone, but I know he's okay with it.
Yeah.
And he gets fucking excited when I get home, and that's the best part, when he jumps on your face and starts licking you like crazy and fucking wants to just play.
That's like the best part of having a dog.
It's
Is
the
just
best
that
part of the day.
coming home and you both see each other. You're like, yeah! You just run into each other's arms.
Yeah, and I get to do that every day. It's fucking awesome.
That's good. That's what dogs are really for, I think.
But if I was bringing them with me everywhere, I'd be like, yeah, I'm sick of you.
All right. So I got another story about animals. This is just a horrible story. People are horrible. We're doomed.
But it's like chickens fucking... one more point to
Oh,
that.
sorry. Yeah, go.
Chickens carry a lot of disease, too. And you're running around airports and shit with a chicken.
Do they carry disease? Is that a
Yeah,
big
it's
thing?
all birds. It's
Chicken
all-
disease?
Yes.
Okay.
And their shit's gross.
Well, I think if this person takes care of their chicken and keeps it out of the coop, gives it a good life, takes it to the vet, gives it the correct shots.
Bathes it every day.
Dude, if you're carrying a chicken to the airport, you're taking care of it. You're not just scooping this thing up from the coop, just like a random one. You're like, you're flying to Cincinnati with me today.
You're right. It's probably a fucking show chicken, like a good fair chicken, a trophy chicken. I used to have an uncle that used to have trophy chickens, and he used to paint his chickens different colors of the rainbow.
What? They're
Yeah.
already colorful.
Nah, he'd paint them like bright blue and purple and green. You walk in his barn as a little kid, and
Isn't
then
that cheating?
you turn the corner in the barn, and there's just a bright pink fucking chicken staring at you. I grew up in a fucking acid trip, man.
Oh my god. God, and you'd win awards for those neon colored.
His whole
Chickens.
house was full of chicken trophies.
Like when you killed the chicken, did the meat look like that? That'd be horrible. It's like a bright green chicken breast.
Yeah, dye their feathers different colors, man. That's a weird hobby to
right.
get into.
All right. Speaking of painting animals, that's a perfect transition. 2 turtles spotted Tuesday disturb parkgoers because their shells were painted with what appeared to be swastikas and bright, thick lines.
Oh no!
Nazi turtles. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, these animals were spotted in a local park, and people started getting attention. They started taking pictures of it.
Nazi turtles, fuck off.
Yeah, Nazi turtles, fuck off. Great Dead Kennedy song, Nazi turtles.
Nazi turtles, fuck. In some other dimension right now, there's like crazy, like evil villain Nazi turtles that are just torturing communities. But in our universe, it's just these sad painted turtles with swastikas carved in their backs.
I know, maybe that's the future. That's why. Look what you've created. You've created us. We are the Nazi turtles. Like, that's a way worse turn than, like, is that like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Instead of like going into the sewer and finding like the rat dude, they just like find a bunch of Nazis. That'd be those movies would be awful.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So
Meanwhile, you know it's some fucking prick that just is painting these Nazi turtles and letting them go.
Sounds like a shitty teenage thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. What's the message they're trying to spread? Whoever is this? Like,
Yeah, don't push your hate onto the fucking turtles.
spreading your hate with turtles? No one wants your turtle
That's
hate.
not the opinion of the turtle, I hope.
No, absolutely not. I don't think it has any opinion on any of that. I think he just wants to eat.
Exactly.
See, people are shit. Who the hell do
People
that?
are shit. We're doomed.
Making Nazi turtles. Look, there's a picture of it. You see
Oh,
it?
you have a picture there?
There's a picture there. This poor turtle.
Holy fuck. And turtles live for hundreds of years, man. That turtle's going to be spreading hate for decades.
Well, hopefully they're gonna catch him and scrub him off, or like just make
It
them.
looks like it's carved into its shell.
What if it's like?
It's so sad.
Yeah. What if it's like some poor like Hindu man who's just like putting the
No.
sign of peace, because that's what it is too.
I know,
It's
but after the 40s, that changed.
turtles are a big thing in Hindu culture. So yeah, I don't. That's not a fact at all. It is now. It could.
No, you know it's some fucking prick white supremacist just carving fucking swastikas in the back of some turtles.
All right.
Some prick named Skeeter out fucking on his fishing boat catching turtles and carving swastikas in the back and tossing them back in the pond.
Horrible. Well, we need
Horrible.
we should like at least catch them and paint a circle with a line across. Be like, no
Or
Nazis.
turn them into houses.
Yeah, no Nazi turtles.
If you connect all the lines and draw a little triangle on the top, you can turn a swastika into a house, really.
You've done it before? Have you fixed a lot of racist graffiti you've seen in the neighborhood and stuff?
Yeah, I'm a
Just turn 'em
vigilante.
You're vigilant. Turning swastikas into houses.
Someone's got to do it.
That's true. You're helping the neighborhood. That's for sure. All right, here's our last story. We were talking about Greta Van Fleet.
No.
Greta, Greta, Super Greta, the Swedish climate activist.
That's better.
She is now being used to shame people. Shame Israelis. Israelis are Greta shaming each other over plastic. All over the country in restaurants and places where you have to use plastic, her face is just appearing in memes and just staring people down as they use plastic forks and straws.
I like that tactic.
And they're hoping that's going to use... I don't know. That's not going to... We used to use that in college to help people... Make people do the dishes. We used to have... Remember? We just, like, post a picture of, like, the captain from Jaws So like, I'm talking about doing the dishes. I'm talking about shock and just like it's like better do your laundry, help vacuum.
Captain Quinn's not motivating me to do anything.
Yeah, just like Owen Wilson going, wow, help with the vacuuming, and it's just like, did any of that do anything? No.
No, but this little girl, she's inspiring people to do better. She's got Leonardo DiCaprio working for her.
I'm impressed with what she's doing, but we need more than a picture of her glaring at you because she has an intense stare. Very intense.
Yeah.
She's the right little girl to do this
Oh,
job.
it's working. I ain't fucking using plastic anymore.
I know. I had no idea that she took a sailboat all the way across the Atlantic to get to North America.
Yeah, she didn't want to use a plane.
That's so cool, and she's trying to find a way back. That's the hard part. Man, any sailboats?
She's got to get on like a cruise or a fucking shipping container.
No, though, because those
use
tons.
so much fossil fuels.
Absolutely. It's like that's crazy to cross the ocean back, and I'd love to do that. Just like spend a few weeks at a sailboat.
No,
that's
terrifying.
That's part of the vacation, really. For me.
You ever fucking how scary the ocean is?
We've been crossing the ocean for thousands of years. The only time we wreck is when we get close to the shore. We're fine out. Like we understand when storms are coming, but you gotta look out for rogue waves. You ever hear about rogue waves?
You got to look out for any waves. I'd be looking at the waves the entire time I was out there.
Waves are a normal thing. You can work with the waves, okay? They know what they're doing. But rogue waves, they're like this giant wave that's just created out of like just thin air, just nothing. Just this bizarre wave that just comes up and like slowly gets bigger as it starts going along, and has taken out a bunch of shipping container boats like all over the coast of Africa and India, and the people that have survived it, they just explain seeing this wall of water just out of nowhere, like fairly calm days, and then just this monstrous wave, like that movie Poseidon.
Yeah, no, that's terrifying. We're like water. We're gonna have to do a whole episode on water because water fucking wants to fuck you up
In so many ways.
As much as we need it to live, it wants you dead.
That's true. It's a dilemma.
Sharks live there.
That's true. And gators too. All kinds of scary stuff.
But so do lobsters, and lobsters are tasty.
Yeah, we'll do a lobster episode, right? I like how everything we talk
We're
about, like, we're
doomed.
gonna do an episode
We're
about that. We're
doomed.
doomed. Yeah, we're gonna hit that up.
But no, I think the Greta shaming thing, I don't like the people that are shaming her and making her feel bad for what she's doing. There's a lot of people out there spreading
grown
hate,
adults.
Greta hate.
Grown adults just like good. You should be saying good for her. Like even if you don't care, don't say anything. You don't look good shaming a child.
Even if she is being puppeted by giant corporations, good on her.
Yeah, good for her.
You know, like she's a kid doing something.
She's spreading the right message. It doesn't matter where it's coming from, who's leading her. Even if she is a robot, she does look robotic. But I know it's autism, okay?
You know how many 16-year-old kids are sitting out there with their thumbs up their ass not doing a damn thing? This girl's out there taking sailboats trying to save the world.
She's going to inspire so many teenagers. They're going to be way better than us than when we were teenagers.
Oh, they're going to make us feel so bad about ourselves.
I know. We're already making boomers feel bad, and they're going to make us feel bad, too.
We've
been dragging our feet.
What is this boomer thing everyone talking about today?
You know, the boomers. You know what a boomer is.
Like a baby boomer?
A baby boomer.
So
like
what?
Our parents' age.
We're blaming them now?
No, I don't know what we're blaming them on.
But why was it all over the fucking internet today?
Because, a politician said it in a parliament in New Zealand, which was kind of funny. But she got it from a meme. I don't know where the meme came from. It's just, I guess, boomers saying ridiculous things about our generation that make no sense, or it's completely hypocritical, and we just say okay boomer now, I guess. I hope I don't say it. Like I'm not gonna insult. I don't hope they don't call me millennial, and I hope I don't call them boomer.
Yeah, quit people.
We don't need these labels.
Yeah, quit putting people in boxes. We're all here. We're all fucked.
Exactly. We're all fucked together, and that's what's so beautiful.
Every fucking 5-year-old and 95-year-old, they're still fucked.
Yeah.
And everyone in between.
Yeah, you never know what's coming. And in fact, that'll lead us into our topic today. This is comets and asteroids. You don't know when those are coming. Oh boy, this is a big thing. This is I guess a very popular thing in pop culture, and just ancient stories of comets and asteroids destroying the Earth and
Or parts of it.
and how they wiped out the dinosaurs and and how they're just they're a bigger threat than people think. I've been reading a lot into this lately, and about all the scientists out there looking at it in the sky, just their telescopes, and people that are paid to actually look for these asteroids and comets and things coming in. But there's really not that many of them. When I really found out about it, like NASA's got like this tiny sector, they throw a few $1 million at. Like I don't know where it's at now, but back when I was reading this article, it was just like you can open a McDonald's franchise for a year with the same amount of money they throw at like people watching the skies professionally.
Really?
Yeah, and for a while there in the southern hemisphere, there wasn't a program running at all. They dropped funding for the program that was watching the southern skies in Australia, and it came back, but for a while they were blind. Because, like, that's, if there's something flying towards Earth, like, all we really have are these people out there just randomly checking the sky.
Well, that seems to be when they start looking, when there's something already flying towards Earth.
Yeah, and half the time they see it on its way out. Because they don't know where to look. There's a few, like, meteor streams that they figure out where they are coming from, at least what trajectory. So
And they keep an eye on them.
They keep an eye on that.
Like, because they have, like, you hear of meteors where you're like, okay, that meteor stream passed and it won't pass us again for, like, 100 years or something.
Yeah. And what I didn't even know is, the meteor shower you often see every fall and every spring. Some years it's better than others, but it's because we pass through this little meteor stream twice a year. As the Earth's orbit passes through it, it's because it's a tail of a comet that went through thousands of years ago.
And it's just still debris.
And it's literally just this thing broke up and crossed the path and just left this debris trail that slowly became like part of Earth's orbit. We pass it twice a year, this tail, and that's why we see beautiful meteor showers twice a year in certain parts of the world. Like, I've seen them before, and you just watch these things like, wow, like, aren't these beautiful? But like, one of these days, one of these chunks are going to be big enough to come down and do some real damage. And they have already, and there's evidence of it. There's an article, there's a lot of articles coming out about these asteroids and comets. I think they're looking at 12,000 years ago. Remnants from the same meteor stream were big enough to come down and strike the Earth, and a lot hit the northern hemisphere during the Ice Age.
Right, they were probably bigger thousands of years ago.
Yeah, and well, that's the thing. They don't know. They have this huge tail that's constantly moving. They don't know what's in it. There's like everything from like tiny specks of dust and marble-sized pieces that won't do anything to like huge chunks. And we don't know where. And we're just like crossing blindly twice a year through this path.
Yeah.
And like we don't know what's really going to hit.
But does our atmosphere eat most of that up?
Mostly, that's what we see when most of the meteor showers, that shooting star comes into the atmosphere, burns up immediately. You see that flash. That's like all the the raw material inside just burning up. And it looks amazing, but every once in a while they do make it through. And there's some big ones. And Earth's been hit so many times with everything from, like the one that hit the dinosaurs and just eliminated everything, basically.
Right, and that's the most famous
one.
Now, they say that there has been hits like that before
and after
that, and since then.
Yeah.
That could have wiped out human civilizations, taken out big chunks
That's
of
the theory.
Human history.
Yeah, the writer, the journalist and ancient world explorer Graham Hancock, he writes all kinds of books about this, and this has been his theory since at least the 90s with his book Fingerprints of the Gods, and he's talking about all these ancient places, talking about this huge disaster that happened, this like deluge, this flood, like the Bible talks about it, but they're not the only ones. The Sumerians have talked about it, Asian cultures have talked about it, Native Americans, South Americans.
And a giant meteor or asteroid or comet. Those are all different, right?
Yeah. I know, like...
But a giant blast to the Earth would cause immense flooding and climate change and ash and death.
Especially when the majority of these pieces are hitting the northern hemisphere, where the current ice age 12,000 years ago is retreating. It's still a lot of ice. So when it strikes this ice, there's immediate meltwater coming down, just sliding down. It's all breaking apart, and it's picking up everything in its path.
Oh yeah, and that causes
all of the
flooding,
rocks and trees, and there's evidence all over North America of these massive floods that most scientists want to like pass off as glacier floods, they call them, where like these big glacier lakes build up, and the ice eventually gets to a point where it melts enough that these whole lakes empty out. But like these are like hundreds of kilometers long, just areas where you could tell from the sky it's just huge waters washed everything out, and you can see the ripples in the ground, and like I think it's not caused by a lake.
Right, you would think something fucking shook that up.
It like crossed like the southwest of America. Like that's how much it was. And like whatever was there below the ice wall was completely wiped out.
Right.
And now there's evidence too that whatever wasn't taken out by the flood was set on fire. Because remnants of all these rocks hitting set off huge like magma into these like forests, and they would just like go up and like
in
giant
flames.
Yeah. And they said this happened over a period of about 11 years. Because they're able to look at samples in the earth, they're able to dig up cores, and there's this thin layer, it's just black.
Right, because it's not just going to be one blast either. It's going to get hit multiple times and flooding here, flooding there.
Yeah, we're passing through this thing. So it's a whole area where this line is full of really big rocks, and we're hitting it over and over again. And 12,000 years ago, there were humans on Earth. How intelligent, we don't know. But that's Graham Hancock's big theories, big stories, a lost civilization.
Like so maybe they were super intelligent.
Incredibly intelligent. Like maybe nothing like a society like our own.
Yeah, their own sort of fucking developed brains that did crazy things.
Yeah, because if this happened today, it would completely wipe us out. We probably have way more shit spread out everywhere than a culture would have had back then. They would have been much more sparse and just smaller areas, obviously. And his idea is that it's in North America. So if that's the truth, then all of this fires and floods coming through would just erase any evidence of it. And there's all these cultures around the world that they say they started with these people coming on boats, essentially, or just coming up from the valley into the mountains to greet them. These tall Caucasian men with beards. Like these are like small little natives, like they're keeping track of all this history and stuff. And like this is what they're saying. And they're saying they bring like the idea of culture and like astronomy and mathematics and like in agriculture. And like all these cultures have a similar story of just these people showing up, like essentially on ships that look nothing like them, and they just like pass on all this knowledge and like help create a civilization out of just these essentially tribal people who are like either not affected or like not enough affected to be wiped out by all these disasters.
So
they're able to live through it. So yeah, his idea is like all these people from this high civilization that were out in the world on ships because they were masters at going around the world.
They were in the water already. Maybe they survived.
Yeah, they're in the right place in the world, essentially.
Or they are UFOs that landed with the comet and they're aliens that bring information.
That could be it too. Where did these people get the information?
Or they're already intelligent Earthlings that stayed on the water. You know.
Yeah, it's an amazing,
a perfect storm scenario.
It's an incredible theory to think about, and definitely look into Graham Hancock. He's got awesome books. This is a plug for you, Graham Hancock.
Yeah, if you want some intelligent conversation on, and we've both read the book.
Yeah, we're doing our best to kind of preach his word out there about,
But like I read it and I'm just like, yeah, that makes sense.
But he that was his big thing, talking about the Taurid meteor stream and the disaster it created on Earth and its potential of wiping out civilizations and how it could happen again because we're
And the idea to think that fucking civilization is a linear thing, that it was just like monkeys to us now, is stupid. It's got to be a fucking graph that goes up and down, you know,
Yeah.
with civilizations getting wiped out, whether it be by anything that we might talk about on this podcast. And our fucking time is coming.
Can you imagine? Because like they keep pushing back the date of when civilization started because they keep finding new evidence. They can just keep pushing it back. There's wild theories out there that civilization is millions of years old, but there's like proof of like footprints and like volcanic rock that's like super old.
Yeah, well, you get to a point and then a fucking asteroid hits the Earth and shit, got to start over.
I know. How many times does it happen? That's crazy to think.
It could happen tomorrow.
Like if it happens to us and like there are few survivors, like or like what Graham Hancock thinks, like
our few survivors are just going to be a bunch of crab fishermen, and then they're going to have to try to restart society.
I think
people that are already out on the fucking water.
Yeah, people, they could pull it off. But like tribes and stuff, like we will do the same thing. We would like run away from the cities and go to all the people that already live out in nature because we don't know how to do it. So we have to seek them out out in the Amazon. And
so again, the only solution to this is fucking learn how to survive and get to the woods.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Is there any plan at all? Does Earth have any plan if...
How do you make a plan for like a huge fucking asteroid like that that's going to rock the whole glacier ice caps and melt floods into the world and set half of it on fire?
No.
You can't plan to stop that.
No, but can we plan to stop it now if it happens now?
You can build a shield?
I don't know.
Build a big reflector?
I don't know what we can really do. Like, who do we ask? Neil deGrasse Tyson? Like, these are questions we can't answer.
That's not a bad idea to build a big reflector.
Just a big shield?
It's a big bounce board. A big bounce board, and you try to just hit it, to pong off.
I think we're just going to nerd. Yeah, we're going to nerd.
Pong it back out into the fucking Earth. That worked? Or into the fucking atmosphere.
We're going to knock Earth off its axis. Those things are coming in so fast.
It's a backswing. Yeah, you're right.
They're just made of pure, like, hard lead material and rock and just all this crazy shit, and they're going fast. So even if it did deflect, it's just going to knock Earth into... Right. Yeah, it's going to fuck us up either way.
Make us closer to the sun, and then we'll burn up by it.
So the only thing I understand is from movies and what they've done. So, like, there's Armageddon. You've seen that classic?
Yes.
It's been a long time.
I haven't seen it, yeah. But that Armageddon's Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. And who else is in that? Steven Tyler's daughter.
Yeah, it's Aerosmith.
Yeah. They even did a song for it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Close your eyes. Don't
want to see because I miss you, baby. And I don't want to miss a thing.
We got it. We got there.
Yeah, you hear that a lot of weddings now.
Took a while, but we got there.
Yeah. But yeah.
What else? What other movies are there?
There's Deep Impact.
That's the one I was just going to say. Yeah. Deep Impact.
That's a good one. That one is like how were they trying to stop it in that one? They were trying to I think they were also trying to blow it up or drop a bomb or something.
Laser? Hit it with a laser?
I don't think it was laser technology. I think they were blowing it up with a missile, and it would just turn into... It would like deflect it enough. Awesome. They weren't trying to blow it up. They're trying to deflect it, like you said, but with an explosion to knock it off its course.
Right. Austin Powers was a laser.
Yeah, that's right.
That was a meteor, right?
I think it was made of gold.
Right, yeah.
Was that from...
One of the Austin Power movies.
That's right.
One of the brilliant Austin Power movies.
But Armageddon, what do? They got a bunch of drillers out in the ocean and trained them how to be astronauts for a few weeks and then shipped them up there to land on the comet. Land on it and plant a bomb and blow it up.
Yeah.
Like it seems...
Before it gets here. That's a good idea. You'd have to get ahead of it, though, because it's moving fast, like you said.
Yeah. The big thought about that was always, like, wouldn't it be easier to teach astronauts to drill? And then teach drillers to be astronauts?
Yeah.
It seemed kind of... And all the drillers seemed to be kind of just weird white trash dudes. And, they were heroes, I guess.
That's what I said. We're going to leave it to the fucking crab fishermen to save the world.
It's okay. They got the heart. They can at least try. Those crab fishermen. But there's also another... Have you ever seen that movie Melancholia with Kirsten Dunst?
With the Kirsten Dunst? No.
No, not the Kirsten Dunst. Well, I guess you can call her that. That was a weird one. It wasn't an asteroid, though. It was another planet crashing into Earth. It was a super weird artsy movie, and she showed her tits a lot. It was great. But in the end, it was actually a terrifying moment where, like, she's just holding her sister, and you see the planet just coming closer and closer, and then just, it was good scene. You see her tits lots in that movie. It was great. But yeah, we're gonna get to a fun segment we have called the Field Guide to Extraterrestrials. Cue music.
Do you have music for that?
I will soon.
Okay. All right, Brandon, just flip to a random page there in the field
Flip
guide.
to a random page here. This is accounts that people have had with extraterrestrial beings and other strange creatures. And we're going to flip to a random page here. What do we got? We got, here's a fun one. He's a short guy. He's a short non-gray. That's what they call him. His distinguishing characteristic was extremely small stature. He looks like an action figure. He's got a cool vest covered with stars and a belt. He kind of looks like a professional wrestler from Mexico. Like he's got one of those. Looks like he got one of those masks on. Here's a
luchador mask.
Luchador mask. Here's a picture of him.
Yeah, why is he dressed like Captain America?
And he's 3 inches tall. That's the size of a small doll.
Ant-Man.
What are these people seeing here? They saw it in Malaysia. Isn't that where they make dolls like that? They saw it on August 19th, 1970. There's a few witnesses. There was 6 schoolboys aged 8 to 11 at the Stowell English Primary
They're
School.
trustworthy.
Yeah, very trustworthy. These definitely weren't their toys.
Children don't have imaginations.
So the Stowell English Primary School claim that a soup plate-sized flying saucer landed near them while they were busy playing cops and robbers near the school. Okay, when the tiny object landed, 5 horrible-looking 3-inch high spacemen put out a plank and emerged from the saucer. That's classic. They just throw down a plank. 4 of the spacemen wore blue uniforms, 1 wore yellow. The one in yellow looked to the boys like the leader and sported horns, stars on his shirt, and high boots. He looks like a little elf. It's like an elf.
Sounds like an elf.
An elf just jumped through the universe. The 5 beings were armed with miniature space guns. Oh, they mean business. When the spacemen began installing what looked to be an aerial on a tree, one of the witnesses tried to capture the leader. At that, the leader fired his tiny space gun. It's like Men in Black. It sounds like a scene from Men in Black. Like, when's Will Smith going to show up? Like, I don't think so, little guy, and just, like, step on him. The other boys then got scared and ran away. But the witness who threatened the leader was later found lying in the bushes by a school official. A small red dot appeared on the boy's right leg where he had been shot. Some of the other boys reported subsequent encounters with the tiny spaceman the following day. Through the headmaster, who felt the whole thing was a figment of their imagination, questioned the boys carefully. They all insisted on the truth of their story. Now, although this report is replete with classic science fiction elements, it is by no means the only report in the literature of beings of such extremely small stature. Like, this is a weird one. These boys just see these tiny aliens coming down. Like, I guess it's possible.
Small aliens are always weird.
Yeah.
Like, because you want to think an alien is going to be the size of you or I.
Yeah.
But why do we think that? They could come from tiny planets the size of that tennis ball.
Exactly. We don't. They can. The same thing. There could be giant aliens that show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's scary to think about. Just these giant, like 15-foot tall.
In this story, do you trust the little boys? These are 6-year-old fucking kids.
I don't know. I think the kid got stung by a bee, and or like his friends pushed him into a bush that had a bee's nest in it, and he got stung by a bee. That's a story they made up.
Yeah, or it sounds like it could be fucking grasshoppers or praying mantises.
Yeah. What, that they witnessed? Like these little things flying down a little flying saucer?
I remember lying in a raspberry bush as a kid, seeing a bunch of grasshoppers bouncing around. You think they're little aliens?
I don't know.
You
These
think
kids
they can
were.
talk to
How
you?
old are you, though?
Like their
These
age.
kids are like 8 and 11. I don't think they're thinking the bugs are talking to them.
Oh.
I hope not. But yeah, that's a fun one. I hope I see an alien like that.
That'd
Hope I
be the
don't
most non-threatening.
Yeah.
Even if they had little guns, I'm like, maybe their little guns could hurt you.
Yeah, it's like, what's that movie? Yeah, with the toys that came to life. Not Toy Story.
Small soldier.
Small Soldiers. That's kind of what the thing looked like.
Yeah.
Like a character from Small, or one of those rubber wrestling dolls.
Yeah,
that
one
they
of those
made.
came alive.
Yeah, when those came out in the 90s, and they just slowly wear off the paint and they just become naked.
Yeah.
Remember those wrestling dolls? You probably had a ton of those wrestling dolls,
Yeah,
didn't
I
you?
did.
Just a giant box full of them.
Still do. Probably every wrestler from the 80s. Yep.
All right, so Comets and Asteroids, Tyler, what are you going to do about it?
Move to the woods and build a shield.
Move to the woods, build yourself a shield.
Yep. Even if I
Okay.
build a shield big enough for me,
Yeah.
you build a bunker that's got.
So if you had a bunker, you go to it.
Yeah.
You want to survive it. I don't even. It depends where you are in the world, I guess. If it's a direct hit, I don't think a bunker is gonna do anything.
Well, yeah, it's
for
not
you.
even surviving the blast. It's surviving the aftermath of the
Yeah,
water
yeah.
and the fire.
Yeah, they're just the blast that travels around the world and all the dust that kicks up in the atmosphere, and you just don't see the sun for years on end, and that's what you're in there for. You're not gonna survive the blast. No way, no how, buddy.
No how.
No way, no how.
All right, Brandon, what are you thankful for this week?
What am I thankful for? What am I thankful for? Poppies and veterans. I'm thankful for our veterans.
Yeah.
It's poppy season. I'm getting poppies everywhere I go. I got a poppy collection. Is that sappy?
That's fine.
It's fine.
Uh,
Did I steal a good one?
no.
Was that yours?
No, I was going to say raspberries and grasshoppers.
Raspberries and grasshoppers. I'm thankful for them too.
Thankful for them, too.
Raspberries are delicious. Grasshoppers are also delicious.
Yeah.
Have you ever eaten crickets or grasshoppers with like seasoning?
Yeah.
Like I've never made it, but like you can buy
I've bought like protein bars that are made out of grasshopper.
grasshopper protein. When I do see them out in the field, and like I remember eating those crickets, I'm just like, I can make that. Those are big juicy grasshoppers. Might come down to that, the end of the world there, Tyler.
Oh,
To
yeah.
just survive on grasshoppers.
Yeah, that's like a good, if you're in a bunker, that's a good thing to have, is like a grasshopper farm.
Yeah.
Because you can start making burgers out of those things.
Grasshopper burgers. I like the sounds of that.
Fuck, we're doomed, Brandon.
We're all doomed. Stay tuned next week for another episode. Thanks a lot for listening.
We're doomed.